Oh, he is. Bloop. There we are. Oh, 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 that's more like it. Yeah. So, hi. Welcome to the new year. Just out here on the balcony. Hey, Stink. You ready for tonight's Wasted Wednesday? It shall be fantastic. Actually, it's going to be a little bit on the strategy heavy side, at least at first. I've got a bottle of Praga here and a bottle of lumps. How do I spell it? Lomez. Oh, being a bit ill today. I got some wine yesterday, and it was some Shiraz, and I forgot that I'm not, or Shiraz, depending on how you say it. And I am not a fan of Shiraz, but every time I forget it, I have it, and then I remember why I'm not. So I've had stomach cramps all day. They're finished now, otherwise I probably wouldn't be drinking. Oh, I also got these I wanted to try out. Camembert with rosemary crisps. At some point I'll probably go inside, but for now, let's let's enjoy the pitch darkness of a country night. You might even hear a cow, hence the tagline. There we go. It's like potato. Potato. Boil a mushroom, stick 'em in a stew. Let's give 'em a go. Come on. Oh, they smell a bit weird. This is solely a tasting video. Weird. It's a weird flavor. It has a very weird flavor. Um, I'm thinking of yeah. All right. First things first. I'll answer your previous one. I was thinking of playing Age of Empires 2 first because, for Christ's sake, I keep on saying I'm going to play it again, and I just never do. Not two games, not just like one skirmish and one campaign. It's just going to be it's just going to be a skirmish. A big ass skirmish, though. I want some spectacle. Then I don't know what to play after that. I suppose that's the strategy out of the way, so we want a little bit more visually interesting. Oh, I got New California to work on the Fallout mod, the whole new storyline and everything. So I'll be playing that on the weekend. I've been playing it non-stop. It's pretty damn good, and it's very well made. Like, Jesus Christ, it's well made. Took them years to make it, and I can see it. It's a really good mod. I also got the Rignomore mod for Skyrim, so I'll play that too. But again, these are going to be on Friday and Saturday and Sunday and the rest. So I don't know what else. What else I can play? I'm guessing something like play more Fear, or I could play. Could finish Quake. Um, could hop back on multiplayer on Euro Truck. How racist. It really is. Is it possible at the beginning to side with Bragg on the Enclave? Because it looks like it might be, and if so, that's an interesting take on it. I've got the perk mods on Nexus. So I've been a cheating little boy and just gotten tons of perks per level. It has glitched on me, I'll say that. It has glitched on me a few times. Sometimes when a battle starts, the whole game just crashes and I go back to the main menu, I go back to the desktop. But if that does happen, I'll just go right back into it. It should be pretty cool though. I can't wait to show you guys that. That will be cool. All right, enough jibber jabber. Let's have a beer. Ah, that's how a man opens their beer. Or breaks their teeth, whichever first. Don't try that at home, kids. Now, adults try that like crazy. Bethesda games are very well managed towards mods, except now we know for a fact that um, they often outsource it almost. They're like, oh yeah, Beyond Bruma, you guys can fix up some problems that Skyrim has. Couldn't you do that yourself? No, no, we're busy making Fallout 76 into a heap of shit. Some of the mods on that will be cool. I know Fallout 4 is gonna have the Miami mod. That'll be cool. Hey, Rose. Thanks for keeping me company for counting down the new year, even though we had no idea what time it's on. Also, how did you enjoy the 24 stream? I wasn't, I left, I came back, I left, I came back. It was a crazy, crazy time. I did see Joe getting his dig shot, though. That was pretty enjoyable. And I told him so afterwards, and he said he doesn't care what I think because we don't like each other. But I like to see him in pain, so that was always good. Let's see, can you see my breath? No, not really. Recently bought Fallout 4 Xbox. Oh shit! I wouldn't. I'd have got it on the PC. There, the cows. I wonder if you guys can hear the cows. Oh, okay. Yes. Oh God, he was in just a pair of pajama bottoms, and he was kind of. He leaned in over over Onion Boy's mic and said, "You know what I like? You know that whole pedophilia thing about you is what I really like, Greg." Something like that. Anyway, I have to admit that did get a good laugh out of me. I don't like praising Joe, but he can be a foil to other people, and that can be a useful. Yeah, he can be useful. He's kind of like a wrecking ball. He'll just destroy anything in his path. Fair play to Billy though. He only slept for about 4 hours, and he was right back making a stream after the fact. Me, I went off and on that stream all throughout the night. I missed a huge chunk of it, and I'm not going to rewatch it. I don't even know where I'd missed and where I'd watched about half of it overall. It was bad timing with the whole New Year's, me trying to do my thing at the same time. I sent them like a euro. I had a euro in the account and I sent it to them. I don't know if it was read out, my message. I was busy doing something else. I forget what. Probably being handsome or something like that. That's usually what I do. Whee! Let's see, can you see any of the Christmas lights? Oh, you can just make it out. Let's see. See, they still have their tree up. How Truth still having their decorations up. When I first moved here, those lights genuinely freaked me the fuck out because they reminded me of the lighting from The Exorcist. At one point, there's just going to be a body, just like someone just standing there, a silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, Scaramouche. Um, yeah, I saw that, Stink. You, I only have it for the PS4. I think I've got every DLC, but yeah, I do. The last one was Nuka World, which no one asked for a version with a roller coaster, but whatever. What's that about DFF? Where'd you hear that from? Because they don't actually upload all that often in proportion, and when they do, they're doing it for patrons. So hope I hope no one who is a patron to them is getting shafted, because I was a patron to them for a long while. I think I was one of their first patrons actually. Once I started DFF. What the fuck is that? Why is there warning lights over there? I think someone's taking lots of pictures of me. I know. You've probably heard of me. Low energy videos. 102 subscribers. I'm a celebrity. I love Nexus Mod Manager for that. I don't like the Bethesda Creator Club shit, which is a fucking joke. And I don't like the mods in, like, say, Skyrim in the settings. Those are pieces of shit. Yeah, the Creator Club. Fucking hell. They charge what, like $5 for a suit of armor? Do you think they actually do have horse armor? Why horse armor? Because we can make fun of the fact that we started all this bullshit. Right, let's see, can I get a halo? Heard Paul talking about it. He said something along the lines of pre-recorded shows give more freedom to correct mistakes. That's true. I think I actually remember him. I remember a line like that. Yeah, and then someone asked him, uh, oh, it was. I know what you mean. I know the one you're talking about. But I don't remember him saying they're going to be changing it up. I just know that they said um, something along those lines. And yeah, um, the whole thing about Bethesda is with Fallout 76, all the years we given them a pass for making shitty get quality games, great ideas, terrible implementation, bugginess, glitchiness. I mean, I was there when the dragons flew backwards in Skyrim. I was there, man. You try to fire a fireball at a dragon that's going away from you, and yet facing you at the same time. I saw an old lady clip through the ground. It was crazy times. But years in and years out of just letting that shit slide. With 76, that's it. That's it. We've exhausted their get out of jail free card. Oh, we don't care that the ragdoll physics looks terrible in Oblivion because Oblivion is so much fun. Nowadays, we're like, look at the shittiness of Oblivion. It doesn't take away our joy, but we're not giving them passes anymore. They squandered that shit. At this point, the only company I can really think of that isn't like a total shithawk of a company, CD Projekt Red. And even I've heard rumors even about them. Apparently, they're absolutely terrible to work for. They'll drop you before a project is finished because then they don't have to pay you bonuses. Going inside, I am literally shaking. I am freezing cold. It is cold outside. Let's turn on the light in here. We'll use our seldomly used sitting room for the rest of this stream. Version of Skyrim I'm playing has mammoths walking on air. I'm not mammoth expert. Pretty sure they shouldn't be able to do that. I know, right? Mammoth. No, mammoth. You should be busy being protected by giants who get their asses killed by dragons. Or You should be being threatened by early players. You think that they can take on one of your giant owners because they have steel armor. Oh, you have an area of effect weapon? You know what I have? A banded shield. Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. I'll tell you this much. Uh, the games might be shit, and they are shit. They've always been shit. But there's something lovable about it. It is. Um, yeah, now show it through 76 and their shitty marketing. Oh, the bag. Yep, yep. And people are still like, fuck you. I was CEX. If you don't know, CEX is a company here in Europe um, that buys and sells games, kind of like GameStop does, but better. Anyway, CEX basically said, uploaded on their Facebook page something along the lines of, like, what do you like best about Fallout 76? So I put in the comments of that one something along the lines of, I like the fact that there are no NPCs. And the fanboys jumped down my gullet. Technically, there are NPCs because they're all robots, but that doesn't mean that there are any less NPCs. Fuck that shit. There's no people in this game, except for that one trading super mutant. I have one in the chat, by the way. Yes, or maybe they put a little joke along the side that makes the teacher go laugh and go, "Get out of here, you scamp!" Fucking hell, fucking shit hell, man. I'll tell you what. I tell you what. I am sick of knocking games off lists, companies off lists. Maxis, EA, Visceral. They're either eaten by EA or turned into things like Ubisoft, which is such a fucking joke. Uh, there's so few companies out there that, are fucking worth anything these days. But people still want to. Yeah. Well, no, yes, I suppose it's full of holes, but it's still good. It's an apt reference. Now, I believe Stink wanted to know what this tastes like, these crisps. Again, by the way, the flavor is camembert and rosemary. And the best way to describe it is they smell like have you ever had like 4 cheese Pringles? That's what they smell like. And they kind of taste like that. But there's an aftertaste that reminds you of turkey. Because, when you make a big roast turkey, you put like thyme and rosemary on top of it. So, cheesy turkey. No, fondue cheese with like herbs put on top of it. Not the worst flavor in the world, but an odd flavor. You wouldn't have these every day. I suppose I'm being a bit hyperbolic. Square Enix has a lot of shit, but sometimes they put out really good stuff, like Final Fantasy 15. If I can buy a game in the next few months that's worth anything, it'll be Final Fantasy 15. I No, Kingdom Hearts. No, no. I'll be curious. I will be curious about Kingdom Hearts 3. I will watch playthroughs of it, but I really doubt I'm gonna buy it. The fandom, the creepy fan fictions the hordes of anime bullshit, it just turned me the fuck off. And then the pretentiousness of the titles. Chrysanthemum Final Double Clutch Edition. I was when it was first came out, but I was a teenager. I thought all the leather and chains was kind of cool. Just turned out I like to get spanked and like to spank girls in turn, you know? I don't need Kingdom Hearts for that shit. Oh, most of the girls in that are fucking ugly anyway. They have the big fucking bulbous heads. Not that cheese is made from Italians. Maggots. Oh, Landon corrected me on that. It's Sardinia that had that. Oh, for God's sake, of course, but the fandom is different for Final Fantasy, and it has the same problem. Final Fantasy VII has the same problem. Would they just fucking go through with it and re-release it? They've been tempting this for years, and I've even seen screenshots of it. It could be good if they implement the same thing they did with Final Fantasy 15, the Final Fantasy 7. That will be good. I want to see the world map for Final Fantasy 7, but done as 15. That will be miles and miles of it. But also, this is important. Add stories to it. Add characters to it. They have years of lore now they can add. What happened to the rest of the Turks? Maybe show more of Wei, the war, or the Wu, was it Wutai? Wutai. Um, like, there's so much you can do with it, and I want to see more of Midgar as well. You only ever go to like two districts in it in the original game. Uh, every fan base gets large enough has some creepy fans. Oh no, no, those are the creepy fans. There is no one creepier than Sonic fans. I think who said it recently? I think it might have been Billy. It was either Billy or Ben who argued that Sonic fans now transcend furries. You have furries and then you have Sonic fans for just the level of disturbing shit. Sonic! And they get so defensive to like My Little Pony is not as scary as those motherfuckers. And My Little Bronies are fucking horrific. You need to go into 4chan raw 4chan um 4chan like raw, you know, to find something creepier. Uh but like Sonic, I Hate Everything did a video called like I Hate DeviantArt or I Hate Sonic Fans, and he made fun of someone whose art was just absolutely ridiculous. It was ugly as shit. It was done like he was a child, but the person clearly is an adult or at least a teenager. Ooh, some of the responses. Look at me going all Jontron. Brr, brr. Actually, I look a little bit more like Pimp Monk right now. Ah, cigarette. Give me money around the clock. Um, but yeah, he like Jesus Christ. The defensiveness these people get over what they think is great work. That'd be like if I was saying my videos were on par with like fucking Doug Walker, who has a studio and celebrity friends and editing, and I go around saying like my stuff is just as good. No, it's fucking not. Have any do they have any quarters where they're like, hey guys, new characters and meet Fabe? Yes, and they have this. Do you notice the way they have like canon, and it's almost as important as Sonic, if not more important. When I was when I was a kid, when I was like a teenager, I used to go onto fan fiction and things like fanfiction.net and things like that. I didn't write, but I would read from time to time. I used to like the Teen Titans one, which I've reread some of them, and I was just there like, oh my god, I thought I was bad. I thought I was bad with writing. Um, but you know, the best way to describe a lot of those ones, even the non-sexual ones, they were only typing with one hand. If you get the drift, you know, it's just self-insert fan fiction characters. Oh, and then my character Ever dead 666. Mom doesn't understand. The Echidna Angel Hog comes in and saves Sonic, and then we're all best friends, and then he comes to my birthday party. Sonic fans, oh fucking shit, are they weird and creepy? But it's um shit on them as furries. Yeah, well, you know what? A lot of furries are just they're off. They're a bit different. I've known furries. I'll know furries in the future. And I really think some of the furry artists on like Fur Affinity and things like that, they're genuinely good artists. They're like genuinely good artists. Some of them are. But, you know, they're harmless. They're absolutely harmless. But then you have that subsection of it. I recently watched Down the Rabbit Hole's take on furries and like the rise of furries as a group. And I had no idea the Fur Affinity meetups were so sexually motivated. And there's plenty of women there as well. So you're just wondering how many like girls are just horny as fuck dressed up as a I don't know, a fucking squirrel or whatever getting pounded, and how many guys are expressing their sexuality that way. I imagine a lot of people when they have the outfits on, they can be a lot gayer than without it. And that's fine. Let them live their lives. It's just the people like other kin, those motherfucker. Um, um, those are the motherfuckers I have real problems with, and I have no problem ripping apart. Those are disturbing fucks. I'll give a little leeway to the Sonic fans because when I was younger, I had a crush on Rouge and the Bat. I didn't think it was bad because his characters were for age appropriate. Sometimes good art is not saving. Oh, it never saves the community. Never ever will save the community. It's not a matter of saving it. It's just credit where it's due. I'm kind of like Ben, the way he can't really get turned on by cartoon characters, which is fair enough. He'll say something like, "Oh, too bad that's Jessica Rabbit, for example, is not a real woman, because she would look hot." Yeah, yeah, I get that. And they're like, "Oh, too bad they made this sex scene with a bunch of furries. They were to make them look human. That would be hot." But all I'm seeing is a bunch of admittedly tight-bodied and huge-titted cat and dog people fucking, but they're still cat and dog people, so that's kind of like making a great meal then shitting all over it. Um, uh, oh Jesus, Otherkin. I actually didn't know what Otherkin was until years and years ago when I first started watching TJ. He did a thing on Otherkin, and I didn't even get like some sort of response out of it. Oh, Otherkin and incels. Speaking of, I think Non Sequitur is doing a thing tonight on incels. I'm fascinated by incels. I am just absolutely fascinated. Um, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, what's that? Expectation versus reality. Um, Actually, the furries I know are very aware of this fact, and they often will make little joke comics of like they meet this person and their avatar is this incredibly buff motherfucker, this wolf guy with like 27 billion biceps, and they're all badass, and they meet him and he looks like this. Poor fucks. Oh, could you imagine a furry whose other kin is? Could you imagine a furry whose other kin is incel? Oh, oh, if that must exist, but they're probably so fucking insane. They're not online. They're hid. They're literally hidden somewhere. But when that happens, someone needs to do an interview. Someone needs to do an interview. They do that, and I will make a response video to that interview. You find that, and we will watch it together. We will go down. We'll go down the rabbit hole, basically. In high school, I met a lot of those fuckers, other kin. Oh, Jesus Christ. I think the one that really freaked me the fuck out was the person who believed that they were Joffrey from Game of Thrones. And they said, yeah, I was a jackass, but I had reasons. And I'm just there like, dude, you relate to Joffrey, sadist, rapist, inbred piece of shit who gets murdered, going screaming. You could have picked anyone, and you picked this fuck, or the person who thought they were God. Which, forget otherkin. People have been calling themselves God for years, and will call themselves God for years. Hey, it always was. It was always this. The difference is we are all now aware of the fact. And it brings us closer together, and that's a good thing. I wouldn't be shaking my camera around like this. Let's think about that. You wouldn't get to see my beautiful eyes without that. But we gotta take the bad with the good, and the bad can sometimes be hilarious. Side note, last night I saw on Twitter what turtle dick looks like. I guess it's true, you learn something new every day. However, that was something I could have gone without. I've seen turtle dick years ago, not in person, but I remember seeing like a list of strange animal dicks. I was like, what? After hearing about how a duck dick works, I'm like, what? No. Oh no, I'll tell you what it was. I saw the episode of Drawn Together where Spanky gets a hard on and his cock just sort of unravels. Um, and I was like, what? Dicks don't work like that for pigs, do they? They work like that for pigs. Um, and then you just go down that particular labyrinth of bizarre looking shits. Going back now to furries, knots and barbs. Yeah. Whenever you're worried about your size of what you've got on um what you've got in between your legs, just remember you don't have, for example, the what's it the anglerfish that just attaches themselves to the body of the female and becomes like a polyp on the side of the female. It ceases to be an individual creature, which can be a metaphor for some destructive relationships. Termites dick look like that. Uh, Ninja Turtles, yes, they do. And they see cloacas. That was a Robot Chicken episode where they all want to have sex with April, but then they're like, April's a female, a human female, so they don't have cloacas. So they end up making an effigy of April, except a turtle, an effigy of a female turtle, but because they only know April as the only female in their lives, they dress it up as April, and then they all start having a big fight of who they want to have, who's going to have sex with it first, and then April comes in and sees them, looks at them all, and then just leaves. Yeah, yeah. Everyone's made parallels. Everyone will make parallels, and fucking hell, animals. What was it? Damn nature, you scary. Yeah, damn nature, you scary, but damn nature, you bleak too. Like male squid. A lot of male squid. The little small ones. When they fertilize eggs, they just float off and die. You could argue that you could just throw your hat in at that point and just say, um, "This is being sponsored by Lamaze beer, uh, export only." Um, you could say that, oh, that's a metaphor for once you get a girl pregnant, your life is over. But yeah, nature is full of weird fucking shit things like that. Like I described my friend Claire once how ants work. She had no idea that ants, for example, if you were to kill off the queen, the all the ants would just go psychotic and kill themselves, um, because of like the connection that they have. Yes, they do, and it hurts them. It's been diagnosed. They theorized that the reason why male seahorses, when it explodes, it causes them so much pain. It's the same reason that a woman, when she gives birth, hurts so much, that pain bonds them to the babies to protect them. Because if you're going to go through that much agony, at the end of it, you're going to have some sort of bond with the almost like Stockholm syndrome, actually. Wow, every day I draw closer to incel. Pretty soon I'll be like, I am not wasting my seed on harlots and femoids. I am a chat alpha male, but of the true self. I am the one kind. That way I don't have to have a bath. Oh, incels. Incels. They're getting quieter these days. Not many people are talking about them. Everyone's talking about Trump or Patreon, or Brett. Brett's been coming back. Yeah, beware of that. I'll be gone, foul succubi. I'm the incubi of the last masculine male. I'm not gonna lie. When I was off at the convention in Nebraska, I met people who had that voice, and I was like, mm-hmm, yeah. Oh my God, stereotypes come to life. Fucking spurgs everywhere. Oh, I just noticed I have a very gummy smile. Mm. Let's open up this other one. After I'm done with this beer, I'll get myself set up on the stream, and then we can get cracking into it. No rush though. I'm nice and comfortable right here. Well, at least I've got an audience that appreciates me. Might be small, but it's fucking mine. Ugh. Don't eat more one of them at a time, though. I don't mind camembert, but I don't have it very often, so it's still a very strange flavor to me. I don't think I'll get them again, but I have no problem suggesting them to people who might like a more, I'd almost say gooey cheese. Like I said, fondue. I always like the way camembert looks, though. And smells, alright. Right, so let's open this bad boy. There it is. This is a Praga. What percentage was that one? This Lomats is Lomats. Guessing 4. This is only €1, by the way. This bottle, 5.7. Oh, that's right. They also had it in the movie where Tina Fey's in it as the Russian Gulag um, um, commandant or whatever. Uh, uh, and Miss Piggy sings her little song about it. I remember being in the theater and watching that. I fucking love the Muppets. Haven't watched. I watched the new series, and you know what? I liked it. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I genuinely liked the more adult Muppet Show because I liked the Muppet Show back in the day. It was like it's like baby's first talk show, the baby's first SNL. Yep, yeah, absolutely. I base my weeks now around this. This is like not the highlights. The highlights are whatever perks me up most during the week, which might include this. Some nights that stand out more than others. But I was actually thinking about this earlier. Would I like to have a shit time but guaranteed to make money and new subs, or would I like to have a guaranteed good time with only 1 or 2 subs and almost never any money? And the answer is, well, the money might be useful, but I'm not going to be doing shit I don't want to do. You know. Um, Turns to Dragon Ball Z. Actually, by the way, my first talk show wasn't Muppets. It was Space Ghost. Because Space Ghost, coast to coast, man. Um, we're fine. Fine. Everything's fine. This beer doesn't. This beer doesn't taste bad, but it doesn't taste as good as that low med stuff. This one, by the way, its strength is weaker actually, 4.7. Stronger than say a Heineken or something like that, but still. I fucking love DBZ. Although nowadays I now can't think of those characters without thinking of them sounding like from Abridged. Whenever Dragon Ball Abridged is on, that's what I think about it. I don't think about it in the old school, just the show, which fucking sucks because I gotta get back into it. I mean, I watched Dragon Ball. I don't think I watched all of Dragon Ball. I watched about the first half of Dragon Ball after they defeated the Red Ribbon Army. Um, I watched GT from start to finish. That was a fucking mistake. That was a piece of shit, except for the opening theme. That is a fucking good opening theme. And then, I've watched a little bit of Super, just a smidge. Like I know who all the characters are. I know who Beerus is. I know about the big fight at the end and blah blah blah. And yeah, whatever. Beerific. Uh, yeah, I'll have this and then we'll play a little bit of the Age of the Empires. I've got some pretty damn cool beers to show you from my good friends at Brewdog. Um, um, and then what else? Then we'll play something a little bit more action packed. Let's have a look. What's there? Dragon Ball Z taught me what adrenaline was before I even heard of it. I just remember watching the fight between Goku and Frieza, Kamehameha, and making my heart race. Yes. Wait, you punch your brother in the face. Nice. Wish I had a brother to punch in the face. I can't remember the series of Vegeta screaming his power levels over 9,000. Yes. Yes, that is. That is. Especially don't shoot the. Wait, officer, don't shoot. This man isn't black. Oh, they have enough contacts with with Westerners now that they must look at that and go, what? Felian, Felius, he did, or Phelan, sorry, Phelan. He did the top 10 worst translations or censorships on Dragon Ball Z, and number one was the best. Look, I can see their parachutes. They're gonna be okay. Or when his arm gets cut, when Tien's arm gets cut off. Oh, just wait until that grows back. Too bad it's Sunday, or else those buildings would have been full of people. How the fuck would Vegeta know what a Sunday is? Oh. By the way, I think I'd make a very good Nappa. And if I was, I'd be the Nappa from Abridged. Hey Vegeta! Hey Vegeta! Hey Vegeta! Ah, my beautiful face! My lucrative modeling career! Oh, Christ. I love Dragon Ball Z. It's so over the top, even though it's mostly just for like 3 hours. It's between screaming and talking. And I hear Super is even worse for that than the Frieza saga, which if is the case, what the fuck? Because I remember Cartoon Network in the UK, so Ireland as well, because we picked it up on cable, because we were fancy and had a cable box. Um, uh, the they had a phone-in poll, and it was like, what do you want us to review? Like, not review. What do you want us to do a marathon all day on? And what they picked was overwhelmingly the Frieza saga. So I watched it. I watched it from start to finish. The Frieza saga done in half an hour segments, obviously with breaks on top of everything. Um, and it was just going on on and on. And like, you have 5 minutes before the planet blows up. 17 episodes later. um, you know what? The Oob gets done right and super. I want to see run. Yeah, I like the theory put forward by Kaiser. That Tien is the strongest human. He's a mutant, but he is still technically a human. He's the strongest person in it, and as far as I can tell, he peaked fighting Cell. He might have done something else later, but as far as Super goes, skip the first two arcs, except for training episodes between Goku, Vegeta, and Whis. Battle of the Gods and Resurrection. Oh, I've seen Resurrection F. Seen it. Fucking loved it. Fucking loved it. Um, golden Frieza. Hell, some of the people who worked. How's this for meta? Some of the people who work on a bridge now work on help to work on the modern day Dragon Ball. Like, that is very smart on them because obviously they're doing this from a place of love. If they ever redo Yu-Gi-Oh, they should also look into them because they fucking love that shit. I suppose Hellsing too, but I don't personally don't give a shit about Hellsing. Now, if they ever redid Vampire Hunter D, I would be down for that D. I want all that D. Or Trinity Blood. I'm such a fucking weeb. Oh, as you can see, I'm the standard of most weebs. Clearly, I look it. I look like a fucking twink, don't I? Yeah. Oh, I'm so comfy. Oh, chair. I don't know why. I don't know why I don't come in often. I mean, I come in here at least once a day, but I'm usually just ignoring it. Either going out to the balcony, or just standing around. There's the party keg up there, by the way. Some of you might recall party keg. I do believe I had much love with it. There's my beer collection, my bottle collection. It's grown over the years. And here's armies of DVDs and books. And my beloved globe. Actually, my less beloved globe. I like this one better because it's black. I actually watched my first H Bomber Guy video earlier today, and it was him responding to flat earthers, and it was good. I thought it was hilarious. I thought he has very good timing. I'd like to watch a few more of his before I subscribe to him, but it looks like I'll subscribe to that motherfucker. Yeah, I'm down for that shit. You don't mind, I'm assuming fucking anime girl pillow that is. You don't. I'm assuming fucking an anime girl pillow that is a sign of weebinism. Ah! Well, thing about body pillows is that I don't know. Um, little harder in their leg to give themselves. Yes, punching cold water to build calluses onto the knuckles. I've thought of myself. I thought to myself, could Goku use a Kyokan like that? He just trains with it. Well, that's what they did in on his way to Namek, wasn't it? They went into they increased the gravity, and it made them super stronger. But yeah, the body pillows, they absolutely would be a huge sign. Actually, it's not even just the fucking, but carrying them around. That I think is where it's not where you pass the line. You pass the line when you fuck a pillow. But when you start carrying those motherfuckers to conventions, now you can buy one, but buy one in tongue-in-cheek way. Like Ryby has that. She still has this one too. The Milady incel, fedora, atheist, skeptic pillow. And as I told her more than once, that motherfucker has seen some crazy ass shit at this point. Uh, but you can buy, or Seth has that cat girl who's also a trap. It's just like I don't think he does anything with it, but it's there to kind of make fun of him. Hell, even ContraPoints fucked the Jordan Peterson dummy. If you've never seen that episode, go and watch that. That's fucking hilarious. Because Jordan, anytime it cuts to Jordan Peterson, it's a cardboard cutout of his face, on a dummy, mannequin body, and she like bathes it, and she has this really awkward sex scene with it. But every time it talks, you just hear beep boop 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 beep 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 robot voice. You know, it's fucking brilliant. I love that one. Daddy. All right. I best start wrapping this shit up. So yeah, we're gonna play a bit of Age of Empires 2 in a few minutes, and then play. I don't know. I don't know how long the skirmish will do. I think I'll do a free for all on a big ass map and just have everyone go at them. Mmm, burrito. You don't get many burritos over here. Over here, you have Old El Paso, which you have to make it yourself. There's not that many Texas places, Tex-Mex. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, something like that. Or what's Pai Mei did to Uma Thurman's character, um, Beatrix. Um, she kept on hitting her hand so much that she broke the knuckles. Then they reformed, which wouldn't have worked. That wouldn't have happened in real life. Her hand would have been permanently damaged doing that. But she learned how to like ha ha ha. It makes sense. It's just I think it's mostly down to endurance. That's what you normally have to think about. Look at my skull. Is it not glorious? Do 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 do. That's gonna be a thumbnail one of these days. Just my skull. Maybe next week. Uh, or probably during the 24 stream, there'll be a lot of videos uploaded, tiny little videos to make up the difference. So one of them is just going to be something like this. Bald. I am bald. Fuck no. Give me a little bit of credit. You might as well ask me, do I have a fucking troll from Homestuck character? Which the hardest part is not the look of those motherfuckers. It's what their quirk is. Every one of them had a quirk. How they wrote. Fucking Homestuck. Don't get me wrong, it was an interesting idea, but the fandom. It's always the fandom that puts me off for a lot of these things. It's never the thing itself. The thing itself on its own, in a vacuum, which is impossible. Um, that is what pisses me off. Things like, uh, say Twilight. Twilight on its own is stupid. The Twilight girls that flocked around it and all the boys that wanted to get laid by those said girls that flocked around with it in response, they were shit. Harry Potter can go off the deep end. But I find that's not so bad for Harry Potter. Harry Potter fans with Harry Potter characters, they're not so bad. They're just there. I know someone who's big into Lord of the Rings, and she has a couple of el- uh, elf car- elf characters. Until she saw The Hobbit, and then she got a real girl's hard on for Thor and Oaken Shield. Ugh, I don't know. I mean, I'm getting older now, so I care less and less about all these sort of fandoms and shit like that. But sometimes the fandoms impact the actual thing that you like. So, like, Star Trek Discovery is clearly a product of its time, which I thought the show itself not too bad, but a terrible Star Trek show. If you took out the Star Trek element, made it its own separate thing, people would have made comparisons to Star Trek. But they wouldn't have been so harsh on it, I think. Stronger. I actually thought of a stronger human character that would basically be Vegeta's student, seeing how he's named after vegetables. Came up with, oh Jesus. Hey, whatever gets you through the hard nights, you know, the hard nights. I used to not write fan fictions, but what I used to do was I used to write up sort of like whole fictitious worlds and things like that. I miss doing stuff like that. I should really get back into it. I think World War Z is a great idea of a story, where it's after the fact and it's like a documentary or like a historical text. I think that's a really cool idea. Or the Warhammer universe, 40K. A lot of the battles, like right now, Arch Warhammer is doing something on the Siege of Rax, and that is really cool. But the thing is, that's for a niche market. Not a lot of people would come and see it, which is fine because it's as much for me as anything. If I ever could make mods for Paradox, I'd make mods for Hearts of Iron and make one of my stories come alive. You remember that TLC episode of Woman Who Had Cardboard Cutouts and the main characters like Smeagol, Gandalf? I never seen it, but I don't doubt it. No, people attach themselves to media like that. Lindsay Ellis recently uploaded a video called "Here's me pointing out all these other YouTubers." Jesus, um, other YouTubers. It still feels weird saying that, but I'm a YouTuber now. I guess what little that means. Um, Lindsay Ellis uploaded a video, "The Death of the Author," and there's a scene that Gone Girl it was inspired by a different book, and um it just had a woman who was obsessed with the book and it took so meaning from a book went out to like Holland to see the author and asked like how does it end? What happens to these characters after the last book? And he goes like, what happens to Huckleberry Finn after he goes off to the territories? I don't have any more answers than you do. And they're like, bullshit, make something up. You see, in their mind, they've given it attachment. But no, I don't give them attachment. They're not real. Learn the lessons they go through. Enjoy their character arcs. Game of Thrones is great for that. You know, Sansa, for example, the start of it, she is so unlikable. At the end of it, you're really feeling for her. Arya is like a real, like, go-getter, hard-hitter. Caesar was so strong he could take on Super. Gogeta with his eyes closed. No, 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 it was broken. He wasn't that broken, but he was kind of broken. Yeah. Oh my god, I saw a brilliant comic years ago online, written by this girl that I used to follow. I think I actually talked to her a few times back in the day on DeviantArt. Now she has her own website, as far as I'm aware. But she's out on a date with this guy at a bar, and suddenly her fan fiction character shows up, her OC, in a bar, and he's like Thelanor White Dark. He's half demon, half angel, and he's yelling at her in like a public space, like, Do you want to know what it's like being half demon, half angel? Because let me tell you, it's not fun." Like he's just yelling at this. He's yelling in these sort of flowery prose that she wrote at the age of 14, and she's like mortified. Her boyfriend or dates like so. So you used to like fan fiction, huh? You know, like, and then he starts getting all like sexual towards him because a lot of girls like yaoi. Actually, let's be honest here. No gay guy really likes yaoi. All the yaoi is for girls, and a good chunky yuri. In fact, I don't know many guys who like yuri because it's always creepy and childish. Um, but oh, does that even happen, half demon? Exactly. But, you know, a 14-year-old girl just hitting puberty watched a bunch of anime and read a couple of shitty young adult books. Oh, God, they will go to town in the forums. The forums are where they live. The forums is where they will grow. And some of them will make careers out of it. Would you believe that fan fiction can actually make you money? I mean, I'm not using Fifty Shades of Grey as an example, but that is a good example. But I'm thinking of more along the lines of Anne Rice. Anne Rice hates fan fiction, absolutely despises it. Compare that to J.K. Rowling, who absolutely loves it. But from time to time, people will make money from selling illegally, very illegally when you think about it, and in my opinion, very shittily fan fictions. I read one once years ago for Kim Possible, which I'm not gonna lie was actually really well written. It's just a shame they didn't make their own characters and give them the same environment. Instead, they had to steal someone else's IP. But hell, it's a job. I actually talked to the author years later. It is acceptable as real art, CER, I believe it. Yeah. Thing is, like everyone has to take fan fiction differently, but at the end of the day, when you're creepy as fuck and you start thinking that fan fiction is real, then you end up having to ask yourself what you're doing with your life. It's like, oh yeah, I did I did stay home so I can order that 17th pizza of the week, you know? But I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm totally fine. Like what you said there, Rose, earlier. I'm fine. I'm fine. It's nothing to worry about. Hey, you guys hungry? I'm gonna order a pizza. Can't order the one near us though. They said they won't serve me anymore. Something about my health? Bullshit. I know myself better than they do. They don't own me. I say that while drinking fucking beer, even though I'm a clear alcoholic. Hey, if Jeff Holiday can make it cool, that's all that fucking matters to me, man. All right, this has been fun. It has. I want to keep on doing shit like this in the future, where I can just chat. Not just in pubs, not just out in public, but just here at home, doing my own shit. Um, but I'll be back on in about, I don't know, 15, 10 minutes even. I've got pretty much half of it all set up already. So, hold on to your butts, everyone. I'm waving like you're going off to war and I'm someone on the train tracks. Bye bye, bye bye. Try not to get killed. Bye bye. Be home by Christmas. Um, yeah. So thank you to anyone who watched and anyone who will watch in the future. I'll be back on in a little bit. So, toodles.